the one who do it. Numbers don't lie. That's the movement. Now let's get to it. It's a lot going on right now, man. It's a lot going on with Gucci, man. Pooh Shiesty and all his dogs, man. What's going on? I heard Gucci, man, got robbed, assaulted. I'm going to let 1090 Jake break it down for y'all. And we're going to get into it and see how y'all feel about it. But do y'all feel like Gucci, man, is still gangster? Because apparently they saying that he cooperated. Did he cooperate? Did he give it up? Let's get into it.
It's 1090 Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all. And for this video, we're going to be speaking on how Pooh Shiesty robbed and kidnapped Gucci, how snitched on Pooh Shiesty, how Pooh Shiesty's father is a government informant. This is going to be one of the craziest videos of 2026.
9 individuals, including well-known musical artists, kidnapped and robbed at gunpoint numerous victims at a music studio in Dallas, Texas. 8 of the 9 were arrested yesterday in Dallas, Memphis, and Nashville. These individuals who are charged and arrested include Lantrell Williams Sr, also known as Pooh Shiesty.
It was well before, several hours before sunup when they first heard a boom. It was then followed by shouting of from the agents who were saying that they were certainly executing a search warrant. I can tell you, after that boom, there was a back door that was breached.
It sounded like Gucci cooperated. It sounded like the victim. Gucci was a victim and gave his testimony. Come on over here with me, Gucci. It's all right. It's all right to go and be civilian. Yeah, come on. Yeah, this ain't, come on over here with me, Gucci. Press charges on that.
Flashbangs would pop warrant of Memphis rapper Pooh Shiesty's home on April 1st, 2026. The next day, the United States Attorney for Northern Texas would announce 9 individuals, including Wells, were federally charged with kidnapping and robbing at gunpoint numerous victims at a music studio in Dallas, Texas. 8 of the 9 were arrested in one day, including Memphis, aka Pooh Shiesty, his father Lantrell Williams Sr, Memphis rapper Rodney Wright, aka 30, and 6 others.
It's always nasty work when you see parents doing crimes with their children, man, when they supposed to protect. It's crazy work, but never mind. Let's get back to it.
A criminal complaint would state on January 10th, 2026, at approximately 4:50 p.m., 3 victims were kidnapped and robbed at gunpoint at a music studio. The criminal complaint would list the 3 by their initials, M and BP. But we all know RD is Roderick Davis, the 46-year-old Atlanta rap legend known as Gucci Mane.
A lot of y'all was saying that Gucci Mane would never do that. Gucci Mane's a gangster. He gives it up. He busts his gun. He do all of this nonsense because y'all don't be realizing it's a difference between rapping and real life. Y'all seeing it now. Y'all seeing it in real time. There's a difference between rapping and real life. And everything that people say out of their mouth when they rapping, it's not real. Y'all gonna learn.
MM and BP. But we all know RD is Roderick Davis, the 46-year-old Atlanta rap legend known as Gucci Mane. At approximately 1 p.m. that day, the victims in Dallas, alongside Gucci's head of security and an additional security officer for a scene label since 2021. The meeting was scheduled because Shiesty was upset with the terms of his contract released from the label. He asked Gucci to meet about business. At approximately 1:45, Gucci and his team arrived at the meeting location, a music recording studio within a larger office building. Upon entering the building, they realized the recording studio was closed. In the meantime, they went to a nearby liquor store. Pooh Shiesty's father, who's more commonly known throughout the streets of Memphis as Mob Boss, ran an independent label named Mob Ties Records. Boss would call the owner of the Dallas recording studio at 2:53 p.m., trying to book the studio for Shiesty and Gucci to record music. This was over an hour after Gucci had already arrived. 22 minutes after the call, the studio was open to the team. A short time later, Mob Boss could be seen on surveillance video speaking on the phone outside the building before entering. At 3:39, a pretty would arrive while Pooh Shiesty and his father were standing at the back of the office building, engaged in what appeared to be an argument over the phone. Just minutes later, Shiesty, along with his father, Big 30, and 6 others, would enter the east side of the building, walking through the lobby and into the studio. One of the suspects at a later time can be seen exiting before shortly returning with a bag slung over his shoulder. All 9 suspects entered the studio's control room, where inside the victims were watching a football game. Gucci's head of security was positioned in the lobby, while the other guard remained in the vehicle. The victims overheard Pooh Shiesty talking on his cell phone, possibly with his federal parole officer.
So wait, he had in the building with him, so he had an armed person in the building with him and one person outside. Let me hear that again.
Gucci's head of security was positioned in the lobby, while the other guard remained in the vehicle. The victims overheard.
So he had the security with him. Came through with protection. It's just that I guess they didn't see everything that was going on. There's too much going on. It's in a place that you're not from. I think 2 people, 2 guards is probably not enough. But they're gonna learn from this situation. They're not gonna come unprepared again, I guess.
Shiesty talking on his cell phone, possibly with his federal parole officer, stating that his caseworker had given him permission to be out on rec time. From what the victims could hear, Shiesty was told on the phone that was not the case and he needed to return immediately, to which he agreed. At the time, Shiesty was wearing an ankle monitor. Gucci would tell Shiesty they can reschedule their studio session, but Shiesty asked to speak with Gucci privately in the attached recording room. Gucci would enter the room with Pooh Shiesty, his father, and Big 30. The 2 other victims would remain with the 6 suspects, even offering them drinks as 2 of the suspects accepted and poured up. Inside the booth, Shiesty pulled out a contract termination letter telling Gucci to sign it, releasing him from the label. Gucci refused, Shiesty became agitated, and the 2 began to argue. The 2 victims could see the conversation play out, and one of them saw the conversation intensifying, so he texted Gucci's head of security, who was still in the lobby. While arguing, Shiesty instructed Big 30 to get his bag and actually help you out. If you've ever needed access to your money before payday, there's a banking app called Current that lets you get up to $750 as a paycheck advance once you qualify. Waiting for payday, you can get your funds earlier when you actually need them. Paycheck advance is clearly my favorite part, and I'm sure will be yours too. But if you're trying to build your credit or just want your direct deposit sooner, it handles all of that in one app. If you scan the QR code, it'll take you straight to the sign up page where you can create an account. Just go through the normal sign up steps, enter your information, and order your current card. After you complete those steps, you'll see the option to enter my promo code Jake1090, which unlocks the $75 bonus. If you ever feel like managing money is stressful, it's definitely worth just checking it out, because that's literally what it's designed for. Being held at gunpoint and unable to leave the room, complied. 30 stood by. Big 30 took out his cell phone and recorded Gucci signing the paperwork while being forced to say he released Pooh Shiesty from his contract. After signing, Pooh Shiesty would take Gucci's wedding ring, watch, earrings, and whatever cash he had on him. He then handed the paperwork to his father, asking him if it was good, to which he replied, "It needs to be dated." So Shiesty forced Gucci to write the date next to his signature. As Shiesty, 30, and Mob Boss exited the recording room, the 6 remaining suspects pulled handguns, AR, and AK pistols and began robbing Gucci's 2 associates. One victim, identified only as BP, would have his pockets ran and his wallet removed by who he identified as CMO Damn Fool, one of Shiesty's goons. His 1017 chain would be taken by another man he knew as Glizzy 375. Glizzy would repeatedly threaten to shoot him for moving, but Shiesty would instruct him not to. According to the victim's statement to police, he witnessed Big 30 pointing a cell phone at Gucci within the booth, but assumed he was taking pictures for social media. Victim B further identified Baby Slime 375 for holding him and others at gunpoint. MM would identify.
This is ugly work, man. This is ugly work. This is nasty right here. This is what happens when these kids be watching some of the idols, some of the rappers from back in the day, thinking that the shit that they was doing was reality. When a lot of these dudes was actors. A lot of these dudes was next to street people. They bring street people around them to give them that look, to give them that feel. But they did not fuck up the money that crazy. And if they did, they learned their lesson. They go to jail, they come out, change their life. Gucci went and changed his life. Now, some people's calling him a snitch, but I know there's other people on the other side of the coin who work, who is not in the streets, maybe married, living a stable life, you know what I mean, every day. They not outside banging, they not shooting their gun, they're not doing any of that. As we can kind of see, Gucci Mane is that guy now. You know what I mean? He's a record exec now. So he's probably looking at things a way different way than anybody who's a rapper on the bottom, who's hungry, who's outside in the streets like he used to be when he was broke and starving and doing all types of bad activities, man. So we got to ask ourselves, man, is this really snitching? Is it really snitching when that's your business? You have a corporate business and then you have white business partners. You have security inside, security outside. Is that snitching? Would it be snitching if it was like a Diddy or something like that? Nah, you probably wouldn't look at it. You'd be like, yo, this person's protecting their investment, which I think Gucci Mane has no other ability. What else can he do? You're going to lose millions of dollars. They took the man's wedding ring. They was tripping. They was thinking with a lot of emotion, a lot of anger. This was not something. We're going to rewind this, man. This sounds crazy.
Managing money is stressful.
Sounds crazy.
The meeting was scheduled because Shiesty was upset with the terms of his contract and wished to be released from the label, so he asked Gucci to meet about business.
See, why didn't he just keep it business? It should have been just about getting out of that contract. If that was the situation you was trying to change, you went, well, he was already in jail anyway when this shit happened, so the man's name is Pooh Shiesty.
At approximately 1:45, Gucci and his team arrived at the meeting location, a music recording studio within a larger office building. Upon entering the building, they realized the recording studio was closed. In the meantime, they went to a nearby liquor store. Pooh Shiesty's father, who's more commonly known throughout the streets of Memphis.
So yeah, it sounds like Gucci was definitely not on his pivot if the first thing he did when they come in for business, he went to go to the liquor store.
This is Mob Boss, ran an independent label named Mob Ties Records. Boss would call the owner of the Dallas recording studio at 2:53 p.m., trying to book the studio for Shiesty and Gucci to record music. This was over an hour after Gucci had already arrived.
So they was trying to make some songs together, but Pooh Shiesty had a totally different idea of what he wanted to do, obviously. So he probably needed some time to get all his peoples together so that he could, backdoor and line this dude up.
22 minutes after the call, the studio was open to Gucci and his team. A short time later, Mob Boss could be seen on surveillance video speaking on his cell phone outside the building before entering. At 3:39, a production employee would arrive while Pooh Shiesty and his father were standing at the back of the office.
How does nigga 1090 Jake be getting all the detailed information with the times and all of that? The time stamps, that's crazy.
Building, engaged in what appeared to be an argument over the phone. Just minutes later, Shiesty, along with his father, Big 30, and 6 others, would enter the east side of the building, walking through the lobby and into the studio. One of the suspects at a later time can be seen exiting before shortly returning with a bag slung over his shoulder. All 9 suspects entered the studio's control room, where inside the victims were watching a football game. Gucci's head of security was positioned in the lobby, while the other guard remained in the vehicle. The victims overheard Pooh Shiesty talking on his cell phone, possibly with his federal parole officer, stating that his caseworker had given him permission to be out on rec time. From what the victims could hear, Shiesty was told on the
This is nasty work. About to commit a crime. Stupidity, bro. And the father, even more stupid. Like, why are you aiding? This shit just doesn't make any sense, bro. Like, if you raising children to do crimes, the lower, like, he deserves to get the most time. The father deserves to get the most time. It doesn't even matter.
Phone that was not the case, and he needed to return immediately, to which he agreed. At the time, Shiesty was wearing an ankle monitor. Gucci would tell Shiesty they can reschedule their studio session, but Shiesty asked to speak with Gucci privately at the recording room. Gucci would enter the room with Pooh Shiesty, his father, and Big 30. The victims would remain with the 6 suspects, even offering them drinks as 2 of the suspects accepted and poured up. Inside the booth, Shiesty pulled out a contract termination letter telling Gucci to sign.
You offer the drink to the niggas that's about to line you up, tell you get down on the floor. Like, yo, here, man, take this drink. Enjoy yourself.
Releasing him from the label. Gucci refused. Shiesty became agitated, and the 2 began to argue. The 2 victims could see the conversation play out, and one of them saw the conversation intensifying, so he texted Gucci's head of security, who was still in the lobby. While arguing, Shiesty instructed Big 30 to get his bag. Quick pause, because this might actually help you out. If you've ever needed access to your money before
You got the whole commercial.
payday, the QR code, it'll take you because that's behind the contract release paperwork. Gucci, now being held at gunpoint and unable to leave the room, complied, signing the paper while Shiesty's father and Big 30 stood by. Big 30 took out his cell phone and recorded Gucci signing the paperwork while being forced to say he released Pooh Shiesty from his contract. After signing, his wedding ring, watch, earrings, and whatever cash he had on him. Shiesty then handed the paperwork to his father, asking him if it was good, to which he replied, "It needs to be dated." So Shiesty forced
So that's crazy. You rob these people, then make sure that the paperwork is perfect. These niggas is idiots. These niggas is idiots, man. If you're gonna be a criminal, be a criminal. That's why I don't be understanding about these new dudes. You want to be a criminal and then you want your paperwork to be right at the same time. Make sure we file the taxes as well. You just robbed somebody, man. The hell is wrong with these new people, man? These new YNs is out of their mind, and the father is out of his mind too. You got to be on drugs.
To write the date next to his signature. As Shiesty, 30, and mob boss exited the recording room, the 6 remaining suspects pulled handguns, AR, and AK pistols and began robbing these 2 associates. One victim, identified only as BP, would have his pockets ran and his wallet removed by who he identified as CMO Damn Fool, one of Shiesty's goons. His 1017 chain would be taken by another man he knew as Glizzy 375. Glizzy would
Pause. That's a pause.
repeatedly threaten to shoot him for moving, but Shiesty would instruct him not to. According to the victim's statement to police, he witnessed Big 30 Gucci within the booth, but assumed he was taking pictures for social media. Victim BP further identified Baby Slime 375 for holding him and others at gunpoint. Victim BP and victim MM would identify KD 375, who they also recognized, as he can be seen on social media with Pooh Shiesty. KD would also hold them at gunpoint. Victim M is rumored to be Matt Marzal, who goes by the name Multi-Mars. He's a Chicago-based photographer and has been Gucci's personal cameraman for years. It was also who texted Gucci's head of security when he saw the conversation within the recording booth intensifying.
Daniel Prong, its first
Premium yet.
Almost to the point of losing consciousness, resulting in scratches to his neck and wrist. He'd be robbed of his Rolex watch, a Louis Vuitton bag containing multiple high-end watches, and his wallet. He'd confirmed to police his Louis bag, wallet, and AirPods all had an Apple AirTag attached, and he was also able to identify his robber by his Instagram handle of Twin CMO. While the robbery was taking place, Big 30.
That's crazy. So they robbed them and they had the AirTag on the shit that they stole. Man, these gangsters is out of they so stupid. It's not even funny.
He walked to the door leading to the lobby, closing it and blocking it with his body, preventing the victims from leaving. But Gucci's security would see what was taking place. Both of Gucci's security guards would draw guns, attempting to force themselves in as they partially opened the door, only to see that they were greatly outgunned. Gucci was pushed onto a couch, causing the victim they were going to be executed. Shiesty placed the barrel of his Draco to the back of BP's head, ordering him and Gucci to leave the studio through the west side of the building. Gucci then instructed his security to escort them to their vehicle. As the victims left, Gucci's cameraman turned to Pooh Shiesty and asked if they were really taking his watches. Matt would provide police with the last AirTag locations, which was revealed to be the parking lot of an apartment leased to Pooh Shiesty's father, where Pooh was believed to have been residing in Frisco, Texas. Federal investigators would recover photos of the suspect vehicles, a white Buick Enclave, a black Hellcat, and a black Dodge Ram with a roll bar. According to law enforcement databases, Big 30's father owns a 2020 Dodge Hellcat in Tennessee, and license plate readers would place it in Texas during the relevant time period of the robbery and traveling with the two other suspect vehicles. The white Enclave was found to be a rental, rented by none other than Shiesty's dad. Federal investigators would find surveillance video of Shiesty's dad at a Staples, printing out what they believed to be the release contract an hour before he arrived at the studio. The feds would also link all suspects together by cell phone GPS coordinates and would reveal Shiesty's goons were so poor, 4 of them would have to take a Greyhound bus from Texas back to Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh man, see, that's the problem right there. You see how broke these dudes is, man. It's like all these new rappers, they not really good at music. They're not talented. They just was gang members or street dudes who rapped about their life. It's totally different than back in the era when you had to have talent and everybody couldn't just be a rapper. And even if you was rapping about real life, the shit that you did, it had to be some type of talent. It had to be some type of uniqueness to it. Now it's just like, oh, I just want to hear something crazy. And then this is what you get. This is the product of it. It's a total different era. Like all of this shit from the drill rap, it's terrible. It's terrible. All of the culture is disgusting. You know what I'm saying? I don't listen to it. It sounds like, and I sound old saying this, but a lot of it just sounds like static. And then you see all of this shit, the way it plays out. It's terrible, dirty, dusty culture. We got to get rid of this shit.
Now remember when the victims offered Shiesty's goons drinks? A left ring finger and right thumbprint would identify the 2 suspects that took drinks as they left their prints on the red cups. The victims obviously knew who Pooh Shiesty was, and Gucci Mane would be listed as one of the victims who identified Shiesty as wearing a Nike mask and hoodie during the robbery. Gucci would also name Big 30 and identify him by his Instagram. In fact, almost every suspect was able to be identified by their Instagram handles. KD would be described as Shiesty's right-hand man. Damn fool lives up to his name, as he could be seen leaving wearing Gucci's cameraman's Louis bag. He'd then post a video to Instagram wearing one of the stolen watches, and another picture would show him wearing the same sneakers worn in the robbery.
When are y'all gonna learn? I mean, like, I'm not even gonna be out here promoting any type of crime or violence, but if you're going to do something, why would you go and upload it to your social media that the whole world can see? And it's you. It's literally you. It's your picture, it's your face, it's your likeness. You've been using these accounts. Like, that's the dumbest things I always hear. It's like, okay, if you get caught and you just happen to get caught out there, you was doing your numbers or whatever, but you wasn't trying to be seen. You're bragging about a crime that you did with multiple people too. It's just like, what? Do they just wake up dumb like this? It's crazy.
Twin, the cameraman, would post multiple pictures of another stolen watch and even the 1017 chain that was taken. Shiesty and his team executed a coordinated armed recording studio takeover, temporarily kidnapping fucking Gucci Man, robbing the shit out of him and his team, making his security look like bitches, and leaving the scene without firing a single shot.
Wait.
Do these things.
Did I hear all of that correctly? Did they actually brag about this robbery? Hold on one second, man. I think I heard that
Gucci
wrong.
and his team, KD would be described as Shiesty's right-hand man. Damn fool lives up to his name, as he could be seen leaving wearing Gucci's cameraman's Louis, would show him wearing the same sneakers worn in the robbery. Twin, who choked out the camera, would post multiple pictures of another stolen watch and even the 1017 chain that was taken. Shiesty and his team executed a coordinated armed recording studio takeover, temporarily kidnapping fucking Gucci Man, robbing the shit out of him and his team, making his security look like bitches, and leaving the scene without firing a single shot. Only for Gucci and his team to fully cooperate with police, leading to a federal takedown and kidnapping charges. More charges can be expected, as yet again Pooh Shiesty is alleged to be a felon in possession of another Draco after having just finished a prison sentence for shooting someone in the ass with a Draco. All 9 suspects will be facing life in federal prison for conspiring to and committing kidnapping. And I can only imagine what else the feds can add on with all the firepower and priors they had. It will also be interesting to see who chooses to cooperate against who, as Pooh Shiesty's father is no stranger to the feds. Back in 2007, Mob Boss was indicted on drug charges and would be sentenced to 70 months in prison after receiving a 5K1 sentencing reduction for his ongoing and future cooperation with the government, meaning he was snitching and agreed to keep snitching. So this whole fucking case is snitch nasty.
Damn, so he was already a snitch before the situation. Yo, I hope this is a message to anybody out there that's involved in this type of lifestyle, that anyone that's making music, that thinks they out here putting in work, that they flexing and showing. It's never going to turn out in a good thing. It's never going to turn out good for you. You better off lying at this point, to be honest, especially with social media and everything. You're better off pretending. If you want to live a certain type of lifestyle, just stay at home and pretend like you crazy, because this is what you got to look forward to, and none of this shit is fun. And when you go to prison, you're gonna find out that that's a whole different type of life, and that a lot of them dudes been in there and they really like that, and you're not really like that. You just good with a gun, or you good with protection and a whole bunch of other extra people. But when you by yourself and you got to sit there and do the time, face the consequences like a man, you start to realize, damn, I threw my whole damn life away. For what? To show off to other people, to show some jewelry online, to get some girls for a second, to drive some nice cars. Crazy work.
Gucci just fucked over over Atlanta as the most rat-infested cop, adding himself to the list of snitches after Young Thug gave investigators the longest interview of his career. Gunna did Crime Stoppers. T.I.
I don't know if we can put Gucci in the same boat as all of them, especially since Gucci Mane is not really living that life anymore. Like, he's married, he's a record exec, his whole career is behind him. He already did everything he needed to do. I don't know that, you know what I'm saying? If you're not participating with certain people in the streets and something happens to you and you're a civilian, what are you supposed to do? Now, granted, he probably still talks a little bit crazy on his music, and he might still talk a little crazy online and things like that. But when I seen him on the Breakfast Club, if this is the real Gucci, by the way, you know, they be saying that Gucci's cloned and all of that. If it's the real Gucci, he seemed calm now. He seemed calm. He seemed relaxed. He's taking a little drugs. I think his wife got him on some prescriptions and shit like that. It seemed like he's trying to live a better life and give people opportunities. And this is what people do when you give them opportunities. You know what I'm saying? They gonna say it's unfair. No matter how much money they're making or what things are going on in their life, it's always your fault. If they're not doing as good as they want to do, it's your fault. You should do better for them. That's why you can't help nobody, man. Well, actually, I don't want to say that. You can't help certain people. Certain people cannot be saved. Only Jesus Christ himself can save them.
Started the Crime Stoppers wave, and Gucci is best friends with QCP. Gucci would even jump on lockdown was announced, and you'd think he'd talk about how he's far from the streets and too rich to abide by them like QCP did. But instead, Gucci was talking about the exact opposite, saying he'll smoke whoever steps to him, he doesn't believe in telling the police shit, and he's keeping it.
Oh, that's funny. This is exactly what I was just talking about, that he probably still has this persona to keep up. He said it right before. I mean, he says it right after I said that.
Street, the exact opposite of what he did.
You step to me, I'ma smoke you. Yeah, I ain't gonna tell nobody, not even the police. I don't believe in none of that shit. Only thing I believe in is don't tell the police. Keep it in the street.
Some are even now pointing out Gucci's old interviews.
I don't believe that, man. He looked too comfortable. Did y'all see that? He looked dumb comfortable. He got the veneers on and all of that. Come on, man. That nigga don't look like he really like that. Like, he ain't going outside and doing the same thing y'all doing when y'all dusty. Y'all got to share an Uber and all of that. Y'all ain't got enough money to buy a bottle on your own. You got to pitch in for some fucking drugs and all of that. Like, come on, man. He's not living the same life y'all living. He got security guards. He got plural, not one, not two, security guards. He don't got to go grab up some people from the hood and be like, yo, come through and help me out. It's not like that. So, again, don't get caught up to what you see on social media. On the social media thing, you will see a lot of lies when people get on this camera. They will tell you anything. Y'all see it all the time with women. Y'all talk about women and call them out all the time. Y'all got to start calling out the men too. Women will get on here and tell you they live in this glorious life. They going to Dubai and getting crapped on. Come on, man. It's the same shit. This goes both ways. It's not just the women that's delusional. It's the men as well. It's the men as well, especially in this culture that we have. It's time to change this shit.
Speaking on Jeezy, trying to get him killed.
So that situation that we were just talking about with the charges and so forth, do you feel like it was a setup because cats came like after you, like they was coming to get you?
Yeah, I think it was a setup.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any indications on who it might be? Have you heard anything on the streets? Just whatever you feel in your own heart?
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, ain't too many people got the motive to do some shit like that. I just like a detective, learn, you know what I'm saying, look at the motive, who has motive to do it. And this fuck nigga, the only nigga has motive.
Jeezy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they saying Jeezy might have been right. They saying that this nigga Gucci man might have been a snitch since day one. That's interesting. I was never really a fan of Gucci man, so I never really dug deep into his career or none of that stuff. I ain't follow it too heavy. I like Jeezy. I was more of a Jeezy fan myself. Maybe it's just because I'm from New York or from the East Coast. It just that Snowman, that shit just had a crazy presence. Not to say that people didn't rock with Gucci when he came out. People definitely rock with Gucci over dumb shit too. It was a lot of ignorant people that was rocking with Gucci because he came out saying that he had a body. I knew mad dudes that was like, yo, Gucci real, Gucci crazy, he got a body. You know what I mean? I didn't never jack none of that because I'm a rapper myself. I like lyrics, I like lyricists, I like music that speaks to me. I like wittiness and shit like that. I can't just listen to niggas talking nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Not to say I don't listen to some ignorant shit sometimes. So I'm not above it myself. I try to do better every day though.
Straight up.
So it's real serious then when we talking about like actually trying to like set somebody to take someone's lives. It's on a whole nother level. It's past just the wax.
It's like I guess it's scared of competition.
Now Pooh Shiesty just fucked himself after committing the dumbest robbery with his dad informant, and Big 30's big door blocking ass is now facing life just because he wanted to be there. Never mind the goons that came up on watches but needed a bus.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy if you go into prison doing a whole bunch of time just for blocking the door. Sometimes you really gotta worry, or you really gotta watch around. Watch your surroundings. Watch who you surround yourself with.
Has to get home. A case that no one expected, and one of the fastest crash outs we've ever seen from a rapper fresh out of prison. This is likely the last time we'll ever see Pooh Shiesty in the free world.
Imagine being able to build anything.
If y'all know Pooh Shiesty, drop comments, man. Who's a fan of Pooh Shiesty?
Honest with you, hearing Gucci Mane snitch, I was in disbelief. Gucci has been one of my favorite rappers since high school. One of the main rappers I listened to in high school. And seeing the paperwork, it broke my heart. And then like 3 minutes later, I got over it. I mean, what the fuck do we expect in 2026? This man's 46 years old.
Can't have no idols, man. Can't have no idols at this point. I felt the same way about a lot of rappers growing up. And now I no longer feel that way because I'm a grown man and I understand no man is perfect and I cannot follow any man blindly.
I highly doubt he gives a fuck. You know what I'm saying? They took his wedding ring, whatever other shit he had. He goes live talking about he'll smoke somebody. He should have smoked Pooh Shiesty. You know, it would have been a bang out. He really wouldn't have won that situation. I don't know why his security.
Nah. Who is this 1090 Jake dude, man? Get him up out of here. It's another culture vulture talking about he should have had a bang out. He's still here. He's still alive. He's going home to his wife, man. What the hell is he talking about?
Wasn't in the room with him. But Texas self-defense, yeah, he would have got off on that. He should have had some shit on him. You can tell he did not expect this at all. Nobody did. Nobody did. When Seti Nash broke the news, nobody even believed him because they were like, ain't no fucking way they playing with Gucci Mane like that. Gucci Mane did dirty. And it's 100% confirmed he's cooperated. Not only did he identify what Pooh Shiesty was wearing and identify Big 30 by his Instagram, how do you think the feds know exactly what took place inside of that booth? None of the other witnesses were in there and they couldn't hear what was being said. If you're in a music studio, you can't hear what they're saying in the booth if you're not in the booth and they're not talking on the mic. That means Gucci was the one that told them. We went in there. We started arguing. He pulled out this piece of paper. I said no. He tells fucking 30 to go get his bag. He pulls out a fucking Draco, took all my shit. Gucci told the police all of that information. 100%. What the fuck is Atlanta gonna do about it? Not a goddamn thing. We know that. Everybody knows that. You know, snitching ain't nothing anymore. And it's crazy because a lot of the rappers that we looked up to, Gucci being one of them, was against all of that shit.
Everybody says stuff when it sounds cool, when it sounds convenient, until they in those shoes. Anybody could say, yeah, I ain't with that snitching, John. I'm not with that. I don't do the snitching. I don't rock with snitches. Until they get stuck in a bad situation and they feel like they didn't do nothing to be in that situation. And other people did crimes that they don't want to take any, like they're not trying to be responsible for their crimes. You're not trying to go to jail for somebody else. Now, me personally, when I'm living that type of life, I'm making sure I'm not connected with nobody that I know what I'm doing before I do it. You know what I'm saying? If I'm in that type of situation, if I'm living that type of life, if I'm playing around like that, I know the consequences that come with it. So me personally, I'm not putting myself in no situations that I don't want to be in. And if I do, and it's unfortunate, I already knew what was coming. So yeah, I'm gonna stand tall. A lot of people is not like that, and they don't live that type of life. And dudes are civilians these days. It's a lot of people that are civilians that kind of is like halfway in that type of life, but it's really entertainment. When you really think about it, if you really sit long enough and think about it, Gucci Mane is an entertainer, and he's been rich more in his life than he's been poor. So you wouldn't expect that. He wouldn't have to live up to that if he was a different color. If he was from a different race, you would not put that on him. We only putting that on him because he's a black man, which is insane. And that's our culture. Our culture is insanity. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why these videos are so important, because you can be young and dumb as I riding around listening to these songs, toting guns like they're doing in these songs, committing crimes like they're rapping about in these songs, just for you to get caught, for you to keep that shit real, for you to get sentenced to all that prison time, and the motherfucker that influenced you to live that lifestyle is a fucking rat. And that's the cold, hard truth about this shit.
What's up, y'all? I'm Person.
That's a fact. I don't. He said it was not true. That's a fact. We about to see what Hassan Campbell got in store for us on this Pooh Shiesty Gucci Mane situation. Let's go ahead and pull that up real quick. Everybody talking about this shit.
And super violate that like button. It don't cost you nothing to hit that like button. Shall we begin? Shall we begin?
This week, 9 individuals, including well-known musical artists, kidnapped and robbed at gunpoint numerous victims at a music studio in Dallas, Texas. 8 of the 9 were arrested yesterday in Dallas, Memphis, and Nashville.
Man, they got all of them that quick. 8 of the 9, so it's only one person that's still moving.
These individuals who are charged and arrested include Jr., also known as Pooh Shiesty, Lantrell Williams Sr., Rodney Wright Jr., also known as Big 30, Kadarius Waters, Demarion Gibson, DeMarcus Glover, Corday Johnson, Darian, and Terrence Rogers has not been arrested yet, but will be soon. The complaint alleges that on...
They said will be soon. They already be knowing already. I'll be telling people, man, y'all do these crimes, man. Pick and choose what you gonna do, because there's certain shit that they don't really care about. There's certain shit that America, the government, police enforcement, they kind of let go. They not really heavy on. And then there's certain crimes where you going down. You going down. They got everything they always need. You think if they got drones in Iran right now, they fighting us with drones. Imagine what America has. Come on, man. Y'all got to know. It's a wrap. All them days y'all thinking y'all getting away with everything. This is not 1998. It's a wrap.
On January 10th of this year, 3 music industry professionals traveled to Dallas for a scheduled business meeting. Lantrell Williams Jr. arranged this meeting purportedly to discuss the terms of his recording contract with one of the victims. As alleged, once these 3 men were inside the recording studio, Williams Jr. and 8 co-conspirators, several of whom traveled from Memphis, Tennessee, executed a coordinated armed takeover. As alleged, Williams Jr. produced an AK-style pistol and forced one of the victims to sign a release from the recording contract at gunpoint. The remaining conspirators displayed firearms and robbed the other victims of Rolex watches, jewelry, cash, and other high-value items. One of the victims was actually choked by one of the defendants to the point of near unconsciousness.
I'm 61.
Why you had to choke him, though? Somebody was just extra angry. Had to be extra angry to choke this nigga out.
I hope it helps my joints.
Defendant Wright barricaded the studio door with his body to prevent the victims from escaping.
That nigga had to be fat. It says he barricaded the door with his body. I'm getting that nigga the fuck out the way. I'm gonna be honest. There ain't one man gonna be between me and my freedom if it's going down.
Ringleader of the conspiracy, Lantrell Williams Jr., was on home confinement at the time of the offense, as alleged for a prior firearms conspiracy charge and conviction out of the Southern District of Florida. Towards the end of his prison sentence, he had been granted home detention. Part of the terms of his home detention were that he would not commit another federal offense or possess a firearm. His father, Lantrell Williams Sr., is alleged to have helped plan and execute the federal kidnapping as charged in the complaint. And as described further in the complaint, within hours of leaving the Dallas studio, a number of the defendants were on social media displaying some of the items that appeared to be the jewelry that had been robbed from the victims. The charging document outlines some of the...
Stupid. That's how they got them all. They got them all by their Instagram because they were so thirsty to show that they did something. They put in some work and they got something nice. That's why can't make money your idol. If money is the thing that has you making all your decisions, then you'll never really be doing anything in life that's worthwhile because you have to have something behind you. There got to be something behind you. Got to be something more of integrity behind you than just everything is about money. Every decision is about money. Because now, look, y'all not getting no money right now. Y'all getting $0 and you lost all your time. You about to be sitting down for a while.
The evidence, just some, establishing the defendant's roles in the federal offense.
Pooh Shiesty update. You've heard the rumors about how he's getting arrested and he robbed Gucci Mane. Well, here's what we really know. What we really know is that earlier this week, the FBI executed a search warrant at the house of Lantrell Williams. Not clear if they're talking about Pooh Shiesty Lantrell Williams or his dad, Lantrell Williams Sr. But that house in Memphis was raided. After it was raided, reports came out that
That's
Pooh's
wild.
dad...
And he's a junior? Like father, like son. Oh, man. That's terrible. That is terrible.
and Pooh were both arrested. It seems pretty clear that he's been arrested. Now, the bombshell report that just came out today out of Dallas is that the DOJ is getting ready to file a criminal complaint against Pooh Shiesty and Big 30 for, get this, a robbery at a Dallas, Texas recording studio where Pooh invites a recording contract.
Let Danny tell it. She said they caught every move they made. It doesn't pay to do crime, especially nowadays. That's a fact. Unless you're doing particular crimes, I'm not an advocate of crime, but there's rich men that get away with crimes every single day. I'm not going to tell y'all what type of crimes those are, but these ain't it. These physical, violent crimes, this ain't the type of crime that you're going to get away with. I promise you that. There's other things you could do out there that's actually legit. But, you know, it's gray area. Everything has a gray area to it. We in America. This is a capitalistic nature. So y'all get the idea.
Executive to the studio to discuss his contract. The report doesn't name this executive. Presumably it's Gucci Mane. And that once there, rather than discuss the contract, things get violent. Pooh pulls out a gun and forces this executive to sign. The allegations get crazier, according to the report. Big 30 barricades the studio, doesn't let anybody get out. They force the contract signature. They also rob everybody there with Rolexes and...
Isn't this dude a lawyer right here? He definitely looked like a lawyer with the slick back hair and all of that. It looked like he having a great time talking about this shit. Like, you ever talk to them lawyers? They just be excited about violence and crime and all the negativity that be going on. They like, ooh, I can't wait to talk about that and tell you every single detail. Look at this nigga. He's excited.
jewelry and whatever else. They get out of there. The feds say saw social media. Some of the perpetrators of this robbery were on social media flashing the stolen goods. What is going to happen with this case? Well, look, presumably Pooh's going to get arrested and charged with maybe a federal court or a state court indictment. Pooh's on supervised release. Supervised release for 3 years, started last year in 2025. He's still got tons of years left on supervised release. He's going to get a violation on that probably, definitely, if this report is accurate about the charge. And then once he gets that violation for an armed robbery, it's very possible that he's going to go right back into federal prison. Now, Pooh's got great lawyers. Pooh has not actually formally been charged, so we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Anybody watching right now, I need you to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, man. We got to get this up, man. Numbers Don't Lie Network, if you're not following already.
Wild story, wild report. We'll see what happens when the dust settles.
Pooh Shiesty been sitting in jail for the last 3 days, bro. And his girl. And was snatched his girl. Big 30 is on the run. Feds got it out for him right now. The house they hit, yeah, technically that's his house, but they just took his daddy down. And he had hella shit in there.
Is Pooh wrong for why he did it? Now, a lot of people don't understand. When Big Scar died, that is Pooh Shiesty's blood cousin, you guys. Blood. When Big Scar died, it was some shit going on between Gucci and Pooh family about the chains and shit. Pooh wanted the chain back, all type of no. Pooh felt like, I don't this nigga no more. You doing my family wrong. You did my cousin wrong, nigga. And Pooh, you know why he signed to 1017, right?
Yeah, that's Scar.
Cut the Scar. So how Pooh looking at it is, nigga, if it wasn't for my cousin, I wouldn't even be over here. And you did him wrong. So is Pooh wrong for the reason?
Why, if he felt like he was wrong and he did his cousin wrong, didn't he just get out of his deal and then leave it alone? Why would he not do that? That would be the smart decision. If you don't want to be somewhere and you only somewhere because someone else that passed away, family member got you involved in it, walk away. Walk away and do something else.
He had behind all this shit.
Nah, you look, he popped. So the Charlie's gonna say you should have popped him.
On top of,
he said he should have popped him. It's the type of shit I be talking about, man. That's the shit I be talking about right here, man. Why? Why should he have popped him? What did that man do?
He could have paid him.
So over a chain, a man should lose his life over a chain, over him not wanting to give away something that costs money. That's his decision to make. Everybody's like, yo, he should have gave the chain back. Oh, yo, I don't know, man. This shit, my brain be boiling when I hear shit like this. He should have popped him over a chain.
You face a kidnapping robbery, you should have popped him. You be doing 20-30 on that. You could have gave him below the waist. Hey, you could have gave him below the waist shot.
You could have. Wow. You could have. Hey, listen, not even just that.
So he should have popped him below the waist. Huh? So what if he dies from that? What if he happens to shoot him one time and he passes away? This is the shit, that the non-logical shit and it be older people, man. It be older people that be passing on this shit to younger people, thinking that this shit is cool. Like, what is this dude talking about?
You hear me?
Who?
They plotted that.
Yeah, guy probably pumped their head up based on
No. What I'm talking about is they plotted. So with why the feds are in here is because that wasn't a spur of the moment thing. They planned and plotted to extort the nigga out the contract, and then it turned into a robbery, and they crossed state lines. See, they plotted it, executed it. You know what I mean? So that's why the feds.
You got to plot on a movie like that. You got to plot.
You got to plot. So now it's
conspiracy. Like that.
Now it's a conspiracy. You see what I'm saying? It's a conspiracy now. So knowing that the police, because you know they ain't gonna give me credit, I was the one who said the police was the security guard. I see your video. You knew he was gonna tell. He had to tell.
Got to the oath. To the oath.
He gotta tell y'all. I told y'all, there's no way in hell that cop watched that robbery happen. And he was there when that robbery happened.
But why should I stick to the strip? Just make the nigga sign the paper. That's it. Fuck you need his ring and watch the shit for.
You know why I think he did that though? He was showing out in front of his niggas like nigga, I'm that nigga, like nigga.
But you already did that when you popped the nigga in front of your niggas. You gotta prove yourself again. We just seen you pop the nigga in a McLaren. Why the f*** on running?
Well, it was like, you know, How you gonna do that though? You still in custody of them. Remember, they put him in the halfway house right after this happened. They notice how out the blue, he started buying all type of jewelry, bought his mama a home. They think that was a coincidence. No. Why y'all think he was doing all that? He had to get his mama home. If I'm finna do time.
Because it wasn't really just jack out. He ain't dropped no songs. He ain't did no tours. He ain't did no shows. So
he did shit.
Yeah, just be spending bread like that.
He was blowing all his money because he knew it was just a matter of time, man. So how do you feel about Big 30? He only wrapped up in this because he was there and closed the door, and he didn't even have a gun. He didn't even rob the nigga. He was just there and closed the door.
Yeah, but shit, he closed the door. Remember, he keeps saying, close that door. Hey, close that door. Yeah, that nigga did good his whole bid. And now he finna be facing 10 to 20.
Now you about to be facing 10 to 20. How you feel about the daddy? Because you could tell daddy had a gun, but you could kind of tell he was kind of following his son lead.
I'm pretty sure certain people is going to definitely cooperate. People who had a lesser involvement, ain't no way. You know what I'm saying? The dude that closed the door, he's just standing in front of the door or whatever. You think that he's going to try to go do the same time as Pooh Shiesty and all of them? I don't. I really don't. And that's the problem with all of these people that be having all these extras around them and then trying to be an enforcer and trying to, nah, man. It's a lot of nonsense that be going on. And bad thoughts, bad ideas. People be listening to other people and then they get caught up and you find out that that person don't give a F about you. They don't care what you thinking or what you doing. I'm not going to be involved with what you involved with. I'm going back home. He made me do this. You know what I'm saying? That's when you start hearing like that.
Like he ain't really want. I don't think he wanted it that.
You had Gucci Mane and 3 other people, and you had Pooh Shiesty and his crew. It wasn't an open setting where you had. It wasn't open to the public. It was Gucci Mane meeting Pooh Shiesty about what he was meeting Pooh Shiesty about. Gucci Mane from Atlanta, Pooh Shiesty from Memphis. They were in Dallas. So the question then, it begs to be asked, how does anybody outside of their 2 camps know what happened? How does anybody outside of Gucci Mane and the people he was with, and Pooh Shiesty and all them gangsters he was with, how did the general public find out about what happened? How did they find out that it was possibly a robbery? How did they find out that somebody put the beaters down on Gucci Mane's ass? How do we know that when everybody involved with that situation comes from gangster backgrounds? We know about it because somebody out of their camps had to have leaked it. Right. So my thing is, when you look at Gucci Mane, do you think Gucci Mane would have leaked something?
What would it feel like to wait?
And that something had anything to do with somebody and then relieving him of his jury. You think he would have leaked that? No, because it wouldn't have been to his advantage. Pooh Shiesty in his camp. The camp really is Pooh Shiesty's camp. Pooh Shiesty on federal papers. So do you think that it was in Pooh Shiesty's best interest to leak anything about that, given his current legal situation? You would think it wouldn't be, but what we know for a fact is that if you know about it and I know about it and the world knows about it, somebody inside their camp who professes to be gangsters, they had to have leaked that information to somebody.
Gucci Mane got robbed and didn't tell nobody but the law. I told y'all, man. People who are paying goddamn taxes and law-abiding citizens, man, ain't nobody trying to hear that shit. Pooh Shiesty, Big 30, come on. That shit dead. Robbing people, trying to goddamn extort. That shit dead.
Now, I'm a little confused. Not at Pooh Shiesty, but the people that's judging him. You know what it's like to be sitting in the penitentiary and to be angry because somebody out there that has control over your finances is misappropriating them. What did Tupac say? I ain't a killer, but don't push me. Revenge is like the sweetest joy next to getting. When you are in jail, all you have is time to think. And most niggas that's in jail, all they think about is revenge. How some of you niggas been in jail and y'all don't know this and y'all don't see this? I'm gonna say this again. If you've been to jail before, you know that all dudes in jail think about is revenge. Now, if you come from the streets, you also know that one thing niggas don't play with is when you play with their paper. So now you got a nigga sitting up in jail and you got a nigga in the streets playing with his paper in all types of ways. And he comes home and you still playing with him. And he comes home and he's showing you, I have all of this built up anger. And now we in each other's face. What you think gonna happen? He didn't just get on a plane and play. He been plotting before he came home from jail. And the problem with some of you people, y'all just don't realize that some niggas will throw it all away to rock your snot box, turn your TV off, humiliate you. And you know why? Because he's looking at Gucci Mane. Gucci Mane is supposed to be the illest nigga. He's supposed to be the illest nigga in Nebraska. Isn't this the dude that when a dude came in his house, that Jeezy sent in his house, he turned that nigga TV off? He rocked his snot. Isn't that what happened? So now, y'all confused? How you confused? Because Pooh Shiesty is the nigga that he said he is. And some of y'all was, but y'all got older and y'all got weak. Pooh Shiesty wasn't playing.
Nah, that's the wrong. I gotta disagree 100% with Hassan. I was with it. I was following until he said people got older and got weak. So it's weak to not want to rob people. It's weak to not want to ensue violence to people that look like you. Nah, I'm not jacking that. That's the wrong message, bro. That's the wrong message. And he should know better. None of those things he just said, all of that is false. And we got to learn to be accountable for our actions. If you went to jail for something and you don't learn from it and you go back to jail, you're just an idiot. You're not real. You're not tough. You're not inflicting any pain other than to yourself. You are an idiot. And we need to start learning that. Nobody's hurting from you going to jail. Like, even when you take people off the planet, it's going to hurt you. It's going to hurt your family. People are going to miss you. You know what I'm saying? They'll miss the person as well, but they're going to miss you. And you're going to have to sit there and deal with that shit like a man. If you decide to come back outside and do the same thing again and go through the same process again, nobody's going to feel bad for you. And nobody thinks you gangster. Like, this is the social media era. There's nobody looking up to people anymore. As soon as you go to jail, as soon as you're forgotten about immediately, people forget about you. Ain't nobody, yo, free this nigga, free this nigga. They're gonna stop thinking that. They're gonna go on to the next person that's living that life that you were supposed to be living, who's outside and is accessible. Not you. You're gonna be sitting there rotting away. You seen when Young Thug came out, nobody even remembered. Nobody cared about him. They was just like free thug, free thug. Then he came out and his whole image went down because they found out that this dude snitched.
He don't care about going back to the penitentiary, about the chicks. He don't care about the cars. He don't care about the record deals. He don't care about selling the music. He cared about the principle and the nigga playing with his money. And he did what he felt like he had to do. And I ain't mad at him.
And that's stupid. It's a thing called business and learning how business operates. And if you ain't got your business correct, you can't correct it by violence. Violence doesn't correct the errors that you made, that you signed onto. The only thing that can correct that is growing up, maturing, learning, understanding, you know what I'm saying? Doing your knowledge. But as far as like going, getting a gun and trying to enforce some things, like, that's stupid. It's never going to work, and it's not going to give you no longevity. And until people start learning that, maybe this culture is just going to keep going, and we're going to keep sending all of these negative messages and then wondering why we're failing at so many things like education. You know what I'm saying? Poverty. You know what I mean? Why the food is bad, why we don't got our own source of water and situations like that. Like, we need to realize that it's all a matrix in a game, and when it's all playing against us, if we are going to keep pretending like it's not happening. This is not cool. It's not cool to bust anything. It's not cool to say I'm a gangster. It's not cool to rob somebody. It's just not cool, man. Get it on your own. You're taking from other people that work to get it, who got themselves out of a bad situation. I don't give no props to that. I always thought it was nasty work when people steal from other people. It's nasty work, whether I was doing my thing or not in the streets, because I got it myself. I always got it myself. That's why I can have pride in myself. I'm never going to take it from somebody else, especially someone else that's working hard to get it.
Nah, absolutely not. I'm not mad at him because he stood on his principles. Was it foolish? Yeah, it was. It was foolish. But nevertheless, he stood on his principles. You play with people's money and you're going to get what you're looking for. That's the bottom line to it. It is what it is. Yes, he could have made the money back, but the reality of it is, when you got somebody to have you in a slave deal, right? You in a slave deal. He did what he had to do to get out to that deal.
And this is the stupid messaging that we have in the black community. People play with you every day. You feel like your rent is too high. You feel like you don't make enough at work. You might feel like you're getting charged too much when you go to the DMV for all different type of situations, taxes, all types of things. You getting robbed all the time. Do you go and sit there and try to rob those people? Do you go and pull a gun out? You know why? Because you know that if you go do those things, you're going to prison immediately. They think that they can take advantage of people that look like us, and they're not going to go to prison. Those days are changing. People are starting to feel different about it. People are not scared of the gang members anymore. It's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? Regular civilians are understanding now. I know you're more afraid of the police than I am afraid of you. They understand that now. So you got a whole different type of game going on. All of this shit is about to be out of here. This culture is garbage. Nobody's living this shit no more. It's not cool anymore. Even the young kids is starting to get wiser and understand this old way of living is stupid. Y'all are stupid. They're looking at gangsters like, look at this dirty, dumb, bummy dude. You know what I'm saying? Who has to rob, steal, and do a whole bunch of other weird stuff to try to make some money. That's not cool. And it shouldn't have been cool. It should have never been looked at or glorified.
He wasn't having it. Now, you reap what you sow. And at the end of the day, I guess he's going to have to stand tall in this situation. That's the bottom line to that. As far as these allegations that's going around now, all of a sudden, his father's a rat. He's a rat, coming from the 100 team or whatever the case may be. That's a whole nother story, a whole nother video. What I do know is that Gucci Man, the nigga that got on stage with Jeezy when they was doing the verses, and he taunted him like, I dare you. He taunted Jeezy, right? He taunted Jeezy to throw his life away. He sat up there and he dissed Jeezy's dead friend to antagonize Jeezy to set it off because he had all them niggas with him. But when Pooh Shiesty came home and got off that plane, instead of him doing the same thing he did to Jeezy, standing on that stage performing, well, someone please call 911. There wouldn't be no investigation.
Yeah, I think that's a whole big difference of someone who lived through trauma and decided to go do a actual battle in front of a person that they feel like tried to end their life. I think that actually takes a lot of strength. Me personally, I don't look at it as like, yo, Jeezy got the one up on him and Gucci Man, his emotions got the best of him. I believe it took a lot out of him to even get on that stage and do a versus with someone he looks at as a, like he tried to end his life. He tried to, I don't even know. I'm trying to figure out a better way to put it, a more smart way to say it. But it's like, yo, I couldn't do that. I'm not about to sit across from somebody who tried to end my life and I had to defend myself. And you know what I mean? Like, I'm not about to be cool with that person, dap them up and play music and act like we playing and having fun. I think that's a lot. I think that's a big step. That was a different version of Gucci Man. That's what made me feel like he's a clone. Nah, all jokes aside though, I think those two things are very different. Of you going to play some music in front of someone that you used to look at and view as an enemy, maybe you still viewed him as an enemy. And he even spoke on the Breakfast Club. He said that he felt like Jeezy was a bigger person. And he really like admired the things that he said after he was taunting him and talking about his dead friend. He said, I didn't have the courage to do the same thing that Jeezy did. And he said, I could look at him and tell he grew into another person. And that's sometimes what I see right now when I'm seeing people talk about situations that go on in the community of hip hop, black culture, all of that. It's like niggas don't want to grow up. Niggas could be like 55, 60 and still holding on to the shit they was doing 30 years ago. You're not that person no more. You don't live that life no more. You're a civilian now. You are not like that. Now, you might still have certain things inside of you where you feel like you like that, but you're not like that no more. Let's keep it a buck. We got to start letting that go. We got to grow up and mature. Y'all don't be like that. But y'all literally working like security jobs. Y'all working at the bank. You know what I'm saying? You're a driver, working whatever type. You a regular guy. Or you Hassan Campbell, you sitting on your couch, you doing the same thing I'm doing. Like, you a civilian now, bro. You are a civilian. You're not like that. So you shouldn't even be sitting here telling people that they should be doing that. And that's principles and more. That's not no principle. You going to rob somebody is a crime. It's a sin. And whatever comes with that, be prepared to take that. But don't act like you standing on some morals and some principles and value. You're an idiot. There's many ways to get things back and resolve things before you go to that. You don't need to go to that extreme measure unless it's someone harming you. Someone's trying to harm you or harm somebody close to you. That shit is corny. That's corny. You don't get no points for that. That's not valid. Taking from someone else, I don't care if they took from you. If they took from you legally on paper, you're an idiot. That's that. You are an idiot. If you sign some paperwork and someone's messing around with you and you can't figure it out, you're an idiot. And I can say that confidently because I do music and because I've done many contracts and I've been in many situations with business and I've had things happen to me. But I made sure I got out of that situation or I got it back through my mouthpiece. Pause. Like, you know what I mean? I was able to talk my way into whatever I needed to. Because that's what it is. That's what this game is. That's what business is. Business is paper. It's white and black. And until y'all learn business, you're going to be looking like this dude, thinking that was a good move. That's a really bad investment. And the fact that his father had him sign on the dotted line, guns drawn, and then made sure he remembered the date. That was stupid, bro. Like, y'all are silly. The fact that there was a grown man there, his father was there and allowed all of those things to happen and participated and was a snitch as proven. I mean, it's crazy work. It's crazy work. We got to do better. Like, I can't imagine me having a child and going to rob people with my child. It's crazy. It's like the dude, what was the dude that was at Roscoe's in California, in Los Angeles? I can't remember the rapper's name. If anybody remembers, man, throw that out there. Throw that out there. What's the damn? I can't remember his name. He got killed at Roscoe's. But yeah, anyway, the father and the son, I think it was the father, son, and the mother, they all plotted the same situation, and it went left. Somebody lost their life behind that. So there's no good things that come out of violence, man. And once we learn that, I don't know why we don't know that by this time in 2026. Maybe people are really hungry. Obviously, it's not for hunger situations. When you watch it, you flashing Rolexes and all of that. It's not that. You know what I mean? It ain't like I had to go do that to go feed my daughter. It's not what, you know what I mean? It ain't the shit that Biggie was saying.
There wouldn't be no charges if Gucci Mane wasn't pointing the finger. And I don't care if it was a police officer, an off-duty police officer. It wouldn't be no case. That's my take on the situation. As y'all can hear, I'm kind of under the weather. That's why.
Yeah, he got to be sick for the thoughts that he's coming up with right now, son. That don't even make no sense. All the things that he said, I disagree with heavily. Yeah, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I think Gucci had to do what he had to do. Pooh Shiesty felt like he had to do what he had to do, and his team felt like they had to do what they had to do. And here we are. And I just hope in the future, y'all start to learn, y'all rappers out there, y'all rappers that street dudes too, start realizing, man, the world that we live in right now in 2026, shit is advanced and your life could change in 1 second. You don't get no validation from people. You don't get no validation from doing all these acts. You're not tough. You know what I'm saying? You're not tough. Being tough is living right, helping people around you, being just being strong, like being able to provide. Like you had the ability to provide for everybody in your neighborhood. Anyone that never could do anything right in their life. Like you could have been the person that they look up to. And now that's all thrown away. It's all gone over one bad decision, maybe two bad decisions, because I think he had already did some craziness and was already in jail. But y'all know what to do, man. We out of here. I go by the name of Youngness. Make sure y'all like, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back shortly. We dropping content every day.